Ron, thank you very much. There are lots of ways to measure an NHL career. The Calder, Stanley Cup, Conn Smythe, and Norris trophies at the age of 23 would be one, and that would make a player a superstar, and that would be Cale Makar. Man, we were a little bit worried tonight when you went out in the first period. Fortunately, you came back, so you're with us tonight. You've been swamped with media requests, so we really appreciate you taking the time to join us on After Hours tonight.
No, all good. Appreciate you guys having me on. Yeah, I got a little bit of luck there in the first with the shot kind of hit in between my elbow pad and the glove. So, yeah, I got lucky though.
All right, Greg, Cale Makar is enjoying the hottest stretch of his career. Go ahead.
Edges. I've been wanting to ask you this for so long. I mean, when did that start? I mean, you're a magnificent skater, obviously, but when you work your edges the way you do, it's just something to behold. Is there a story there at all?
I appreciate that. No, I mean, I don't know if I can kind of relate it to anything specific. I think for me, I was always kind of that guy that liked to play around with whether it was different edge work and stuff like that on ice. And there were so many camps I went to, and so many people that helped with kind of whether it's power skating or whatnot along the way, and even more of the stuff that I do recently, just with a little bit of edge work. So
the edge work didn't help you getting hit with the puck.
Yeah, no, I was a little lazy on the gap there, and that didn't feel too great. But no, it's always been a work in progress, and I always try and learn new things. But yeah, I feel like from a young age, just try and be good edge-wise, I guess.
Cale, what a month you've had. You set the Colorado franchise record for multi-point games. You're the fastest defenseman ever to get to 200 career assists, and the list seems to go on and on. It seems that there's nothing you can't do, and that takes us to golf.
Oh,
That'll do. That'll do. That's right at it.
Oh my God! Wow. Let's go!
Now the chirping coming up here is something to behold.
Did anybody else hear that?
That landed in the shadow.
Oh, look at me! I'm good at everything. I'm good at everything. I'm Cale Makar. I'm the best defenseman. Oh, I'm 23. Oh, I got my whole life ahead of me. Oh, look at me! I'm good at everything. Oh, so good.
Don't let the best player in the world get hot.
Norris Trophy. Oh yeah! What a shot, man.
That is some beautiful chirping from who?
Yeah.
Well, Devon Taves was driving the car.
Yeah, Devon Taves, he's trying to get in here, but no, those are the foreplay guys there, and we had a good 4v4 match with them last. I think it was before last season started, and yeah, it came down to one of the last two holes, I think. But yeah, that was probably a highlight of my golf career right there. Blind shot going in with a 9-iron. So yeah, we'll take that.
Where was that, and what did you shoot?
That was I believe it's Sanctuary, just south of Denver, and as a group, I think we were minus 16, I think, on 16 or 17, and they made an eagle, so they were minus 17, and they beat us. I think they beat us on 17 or something like that. So.
All right, let's get back to the trophy case. Only two other defensemen before you can claim to have the same collection of hardware, and that's Brian Leetch and Bobby Orr. So you're early in your career, and obviously you don't spend a lot of time right now looking back. But I wonder if you reflect at all, ever take a moment to reflect at all on what you've accomplished in such a short period of time.
I mean, myself, not really at the moment. I think I haven't really looked back too much, and I try not to look forward. I think just try and stay in the moment. And I mean, I have so many family members, especially my parents. Anything that happens, it's just they're always congratulating me, and I just kind of brush it off. And my dad kind of always gives me the one day you'll look back and you'll remember this. So for me right now, it's just trying to stay in the moment, and I try not to get caught up in all that individual stuff.
Question from Cam: where does he keep his plethora of trophies? Do you have a trophy room?
No trophy room.
Where
yet.
are they?
No, it's hopefully get a couple more big team ones to add, and then we'll actually make a trophy room.
Okay. The Haunch asks, after having accomplished all you have at such a young age, what's your next goal? Another cup? The Hart? I think we know the answer to that. The goal of any player in the NHL is to win the Stanley Cup again. But I will ask you this: Olympic participation. Do you think about that?
For sure. I mean, I obviously haven't had really the opportunity to do that yet. With I guess when the NHL's committed to that. So looking down the line, I think a lot of guys are pretty excited to. I think it's in Italy in 26. So hopefully we can be a part of that, because that would be super special, and hopefully I can be a part of that as well, because anytime you get to represent your country, it's pretty amazing.
This is your second appearance on After Hours. Do you remember anything from the first time we had you on the program in November of 19?
He's bad.
No, I don't know.
You're bad.
Was it in Vancouver?
It was in Vancouver.
Okay,
yeah.
there you go. So I remember that part. I don't know if I remember anything else, but
What was your first full month of your first full season in the NHL en route to winning the Calder Trophy? But here is a nugget from that program. It was dug up for us by your father, Gary.
oh no.
When I'm older, I want to be an engineer because it involves creativity, drawing, science, and math. I like all of these things, but mostly I like science and being creative. In order to prepare myself to be an engineer, I will have to get good grades in school work, because engineers are really smart and know a lot. Who wrote that?
Oh, that's probably me or one of the help from my parents as
So
a
you
kid.
weren't
I
sure
think
who
honestly,
wrote it,
Yeah, I
and
remember.
there's the money shot.
10-year-old Cale Makar.
That's some good hair right there. That's
Cale's
really ready
amazing
for photo
life,
day.
and,
Well, we got the creativity part right.
Yeah,
I mean, I see a little bit of that on the ice.
I don't know what the engineer part was. I mean, maybe a little bit. Anytime we do car rides, I was always drawing, which doesn't really make sense because I'm not a great drawer at all. So, yeah.
Well, the subject was Cale's amazing life at the age of 10, and the NHL is lucky that you did not choose engineering. You were at UMass for 2 years, and I think you were majoring in sports management. You pledged to finish your degree, which I think is a good idea, so you'll have something to fall back on if this hockey thing doesn't work out. But have you made any progress on your education and your degree?
I haven't yet. I mean, it's definitely on the to-do list for sure. I want to finish my degree, and anybody that asks me, I mean, you'd ask me now, obviously I'm removed so many years, and I could kind of still just say that I want to get it done, but I think for me it's also just that accomplishment. I mean, you hear it from guys in the room sometimes. O'Connor graduating from DU, so to kind of have that in the back pocket would be a little bit nice. So whether it's now or in 5 years, but I definitely want to do that. I think it's a pretty cool program they got there at UMass.
And on that note then, I mean, going back to the decision, junior versus college, and obviously academics was important to you, I would think, just based on your answer.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think when all the, options came down to it, I think for me, I mean, hockey-wise, just being a smaller guy at the time and getting those extra years of development in college, and then also you get the education aspect of it as well. And I think for my family and my dad, that was kind of a important thing. Even if hockey didn't work out, you always had that to kind of fall back on. So I learned so many life lessons at college, and I definitely, looking back on it, I wouldn't have gone any other way, that's for sure.
To play at your level, obviously you have to have endurance, and you do. I mean, you played 28 minutes last night. You've been playing on average, I think, about 25 minutes a game. So that's a long way away from where you were as an 18-year-old freshman at UMass. Is it true that back then you would run out of gas in the second of back-to-back games?
I don't know about that. I don't know, maybe a little bit, but I mean, going from our junior team to our college team, it was definitely different. In junior, we'd have almost like 2-hour practices. They'd be slower, more systematic, and it'd be a lot more teaching moments. Whereas you go to college, it's a very hard 45-minute practice. So I think that first year was a pretty big adjustment in terms of just not only the cardio, but then also making sure that you're ready every single night on the weekends to play. So there was definitely an adjustment period there. I don't know if I'd say I was always slow in the second half of the back-to-back, but yeah. So
Well, you've got endurance
Was that
now.
you that wrote that, Scott?
Pardon me?
Did you write that?
No, I read it somewhere. That's not the kind of claim I would make without reading it. While we're on the topic of college hockey and the UMass Minutemen, your brother Taylor is there now in his junior year. Yep. Taylor is what, almost 3 years younger?
Yeah, basically 3 years. So
now, he was drafted in the 7th round this summer by the Colorado Avalanche. That 7th round obviously means it's a long shot pick, but nonetheless, do you dream of being teammates in the NHL together?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I don't think neither of us really thought about that. Obviously, we're 3 years apart, so we never really crossed over in hockey. And now that it's kind of at that point, he's kind of got his eyes on it, and it'd be so amazing to have that happen. And I mean, he's starting to play his game this year, and it's fun to watch growing into his size and his ability. So for him, it's just kind of about the process. There's no reason to rush it. I think if he wants to get here, he's going to get here, and he's a hard worker. So, geez, we look so young there.
Well, that's your draft year.
Yeah.
I think we have a picture, though, that takes us back even further. We'll see it here in a second. from there, well, it's coming. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
that's an old
from
one.
that to your draft year in Colorado, that's something, or by Colorado.
It'd be a pretty cool moment for sure if we got to share the ice together. That'd be definitely pretty special.
So your father, Gary, says, while you're skilled, Taylor is more of a mean mugger. Is that fair?
Yeah, it is for sure. I mean, growing up, we'd always have fights, whether it was like hockey fights, mace-sticks, living room fights, boxing fights, and I'd always usually get the best of him. He won't like that I'm saying that, but then I'd say we're done, and then he'd throw a cheap shot at the end usually and get me pretty good. So
What about now?
yeah, now he might have the edge on me a little bit. He's
Yeah.
6'3" now, so it's like I don't know. It'd be a tough one, that's for sure.
Okay, here are the Makar boys at the family cabin, I think back in the summer of 2009.
Oh, my goodness.
That would be you, Taylor, I guess, and your cousins?
Yeah, my cousins on my dad's side. Yeah.
So this picture, I think, would best be described as the before picture.
Yeah, it's we're definitely we're a crib playing family too. So we always, especially at the cabin when everybody can get out there, we have huge crib tournaments. So obviously you can see the crib board there, and you can kind of see how intense everybody is. But yeah, what a pick that is.
Can you imagine that just 10 years after that you would win the Calder Trophy? How time flies.
Yeah, I mean that's just 10 years, eh? Wow.
Yeah.
So Canadiana, huh?
Yeah.
Cabins and cribbage.
That's a slice of Canadian
There you
for
go.
sure.
Well, automatic.
And a few refreshments, but you were far too young for them back then.
Yeah, a little bit.
You've had some signature moments in the NHL. One of those in January of 22 versus Chicago, Greg.
Yeah, and again, edges. I mean, I don't know what to say about this move. I got to be honest.
Well,
I mean,
the turn back
I
and you
didn't
left
at the
Kirby
time.
Dach going the
I
other
didn't.
way.
Change
Yeah.
of pace too is the other side of this piece that I watched a million times. And there, your acceleration.
Yeah.
Any special memory on that?
Yeah, I mean it was a cool win. I think that goal, just overall, I mean I felt like he was cheating a little bit, and I was kind of getting squeezed on the boards. So even if he cut me off, I probably would have just thrown the puck low, so we didn't at least turn it over going the other way. And I felt like he was kind of cheating a little bit, so just tried to basically turn it to the net. And I saw Nate backdoor, so I was kind of hoping there was going to be a pass option. I didn't think that was going to actually play out the way it did, but it worked out.
So that goal is about two things. First of all, good hands to finish the play and beat Marc-Andre Fleury, and then your superior skating, as Greg has mentioned, your edge work. So Coach Rex asks, you're one of the best skating defensemen ever to play the game. To what do you attribute being such a tremendous skater?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, we kind of touched on that at the beginning a little bit.
Greg already asked you the question. We wanted to get Coach Rex's question.
Yeah, no, I think.
Way to go, Coach.
Yeah, I think a lot of repetition. I think for me, especially, I always loved playing forward at a young age. Anytime somebody was injured or we didn't have enough guys, I'd always try and volunteer to hop up. Just anytime I could try and skate forward. So, I mean, and then the back end, I started loving it, and then you figure out how to skate backwards, and it was just so much fun. So.
Hey, there's Cohen Snow.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, you gotta hop in here. Hop in here. What's going on,
Cohen,
buddy?
you were magnificent tonight,
Yes.
reading the opening lineup.
That was
Willa.
unbelievable.
Yeah. And you're wearing this.
Yeah,
Who gave you
you
that
got a nice
sweater?
sweater.
Yeah.
They came in Flames jerseys, but somebody must have convinced them to put the Avs jerseys on, so it looks awesome.
Yeah.
We love
Says
it.
to Cohen,
I think it says work hard, have fun.
Work hard, have fun.
There you go.
Cale Makar. That's something to treasure. Although you'll understand that Cohen's allegiance is to the Calgary Flames.
That's
right?
okay. We'll switch it one of these days. Yeah. There you go.
All right. Thanks for making an appearance, Cohen. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Good to see
See
you.
you later.
All right, so skating, that gets us to how to skate like Cale Makar. When you skate the way you do, YouTube videos will show up on how to skate like you, and here is a segment of one.
Today we're gonna work Cale Makar's skating move. Okay, let's go. This is very hard to move. Cale Makar does power play. I think it's impossible to any other players this move, but we can try our own versions. So he does it like here, and you get the puck to open it. So
he's
tries
gonna
to
do it
open
now.
it
Here we go.
first, and then he tried inside the push, and then he does a shot. I think he pushed out to the left foot. This is very hard. So let's try our own version. So
It's smooth,
we're gonna
yeah,
open
yeah.
feet first.
So
out, so we're gonna
open
go
the hips, inside push. That's
Yeah.
Steve Bach of BK Hockey, by the way. Did he nail it there?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty amazing. I think like a lot of the stuff, especially I feel like on younger teams when I was growing up, we'd start practices with power skating, and whether it was starting with like the 10 and 2s or just doing like kind of down and backs 10 and 2s to open up the hips. So I don't know if that kind of comes from that or that creativity, but yeah.
Anyone who's ever played the game can only dream of being able to skate the way you do. There's another player in the NHL who probably does, and that's Quinn Hughes of the Vancouver Canucks. So PG-13 asks, have you heard about some guy called Quinn Hughes? And what's your take on him possibly competing with you for the Norris?
Yeah, I mean, he's an incredible player. Obviously, we played him the other night, and the one thing about his game that strikes me is just how smooth he is. He's such a smooth skater, and anytime you feel like you kind of got him, he's always going to get back. So it's fun to watch, and he's doing so much for the Canucks right now. So I don't look at it too much as an individual battle going on there, but he's a huge role for their team, and it's obviously a credit to how well they're doing right now.
Sportsmanship, it's a lovely thought until you're out there trying to do whatever it takes to win the game. So who in the NHL, Greg, do you think would ever wave off a penalty and decline the opportunity to have his team go on the power play?
I'm beside myself.
It's not old school, but you know what? It's spectacular.
I can't watch this. Yeah,
That's against the Islanders. Matt Barzal chasing you around the net. The penalty's called on him, and you wave it off right away.
Yeah, I don't know what was going through my brain. I mean, in the moment, I thought it was a good idea, but I don't know if I didn't think they were actually going to call it off or what. But yeah, it's when I look back on it, maybe let that one slide. Just say, sorry, that's my bad.
But you think about it, yeah. I mean, I'm surprised they did call it off. To be honest with you, I mean, just your motion. I mean, I get it, but for them to do that was wild.
Yeah, it's
I'm sure you didn't expect that part of it.
No, maybe if I would have known that they actually would have called it off, I probably would have kept my mouth shut a little bit. But
well,
yeah, it's a little bit.
Barzal himself said it was great sportsmanship, but he wasn't sure he'd ever do the same thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
August the 22nd, your day with the Stanley Cup. Among other places, you took it to the Crowchild Twin Arena, where you played with the Northwest Warriors, and you take it from there.
Yeah, this is it was
special.
It was an amazing day. I mean, so many people showed up to Crowchild, and then obviously this. I was fortunate enough to bring it to my grandma's kind of their senior home, and it was so cool. They had such a cool setup on the inside, and there were so many people that were so happy and excited. And I mean, all those people are obviously they're there because they're getting older. So for them, they watch. They know my grandma and they watch the hockey. So it was pretty cool for them to be able to see the cup. And yeah, that's my grandma there, and pretty special. So yeah, it was a pretty special day.
Cale Makar passed away in September, I guess about a month after this, but she lived long enough to have the thrill of sharing the Stanley Cup with her grandson, and boy, taking it to the residence place, the seniors home, is special because a lot of those folks cannot get out. Yeah,
I mean, try not to get too emotional, but yeah, it was a pretty cool moment. Obviously, a lot of family was there. Our health was kind of declining and stuff, and we didn't know how long it was going to be. So for us to be able to share that moment, especially with all the family, and get some good pictures and see how excited she was, and we had her kind of drink out of the cup at our house too, take a quick sip. So that was it was a very special day, and honestly something I'll never forget. So
beautiful. One thing we haven't mentioned tonight, the Brooks Bandits of the Alberta Junior League, both you and Taylor played there, and the Avalanche drafted you out of Brooks, made you the highest draft pick ever out of the Alberta Junior League, the AJ. Last we checked, Brooks was in first place with a sizzling 23-3 record. I think they played Bonneville tonight. Do you keep track of the Bandits?
Yeah, I still do. I mean, I haven't talked to the coaches in a little bit, or Papuano there, but I mean, the program that they created and the guys that they're able to bring in, they know the culture. And I mean, to move on to the next level, I feel like there's so many little habits that you learn with that team, regardless of how good the team is. And the amount of things that I learned there were absolutely incredible. And just, I think, play so many roles in the little habits of the game nowadays that when I created my game there, that's for sure.
Well, here's a question then from Mike. In the 16-17 AJHL season, you and your Brooks team ran over the competition. You dominated with 75 points that year. After that season, did you believe you were NHL bound even before being taken 4th overall by the Avs?
I mean, yes and no. It's a tough question. I think throughout the year we're doing so many like interviews with different teams and stuff like that, but just individually, whether it's before or after games, and it never really occurred to me what I was kind of getting into. It was just I was just playing hockey for Brooks, and I think at the time that was kind of the best case scenario, just not looking too far ahead and kind of stressing about what the future might hold. So for me, Brooks did such a good job of just keeping me in that moment, and credit a lot of the guys on the team there, because we obviously, like you see there, we had an amazing team. So
all right, here's a video question from someone you may know.
Hey, Cale, I hope you're enjoying your time on After Hours with Scott. I did. Please explain to him, though, how college hockey, you played 2 years, how it helped prepare you for the NHL, the practice schedule, 5 days a week, and all the time in the gym, and how you were ready to come out and you were physically mature for when you got into the NHL. Ryan Whitney from Spitting Chicklets said this week that he thinks if college hockey teams played major junior now, that they would absolutely whoop them. And that's a little bit different from my time. But now, because of the development, college hockey is at the high. So please explain that to him.
Okay, before you answer that question, Kevin Bieksa made 6 appearances in After Hours, and look at him now. He's a big-time network commentator in Hockey Night in Canada. So remember that as you make your second appearance. Okay, answer the question.
Yeah, I mean, so it's, yeah. College was, I learned so many things there with UMass. I think, again, I'd go back to so many little habits and just the day in, day out routine of not only you're practicing and playing games, but you're also going to school. And so it's the responsibility that takes to, whether it's stay on top of grades or stay on top of eating well or being on time for everything. So I think I learned a lot in that respect of the game. And then to touch to his point too in college getting better and what Whitney said, I think my time at UMass, you kind of notice the transition. Obviously, more Canadian kids are starting to think about both paths now, and for me, that's all you can do. I don't think there's a right or wrong way, and all you got to do is kind of educate yourself on the decision that you're making. I think there's a lot of pros and cons to both, but for me, I definitely love the college route.
Okay, hopefully we've got time to get a couple more questions in here from the fans. This is from Pritash. I heard Cale is an avid reader. What does he read to match his skills to his smarts on the ice?
That's a great question. At UMass, I was fortunate enough to do a couple independent studies with a great psychologist there named Doc Halligan, and he ran a great clinical psychology class. And I was fortunate in the individual studies. I read, I think it was like 6 books a semester, and then I'd have to do like a little write-up every 2 weeks about that. And it was just, I mean, it was nice. It wasn't like I didn't have to go to class or anything. It was very on your own time and responsible. And for myself, I think books right now, the one I'm kind of reading is Do Hard Things. I don't know why the author's name skips my mind right now. But yeah, anything you can kind of do. It's not always about just improving yourself. You obviously want to have fun reading too, but yeah.
Hey, with all that reading, you could have been an engineer.
I mean, yeah, I'm giving myself way too much credit because I don't read as much. I don't read much at all anymore. It's like, so you guys are making me seem way smarter than I actually am.
That's the goal of this show.
You're not bad. I got to tell you, you're pretty impressive.
Cale, thanks for being on the program.
Yeah, thank you very much.
There's Cale Makar, one of the faces of the NHL, is helping to ensure that the caliber of play in the NHL remains as high as possible. Back to conclude proceedings at Ball Arena in Denver in a moment.